Hello and welcome to Bass Guitar Review. My name is Ben Morgan Brown and this video is part 2 of a review of the Rockboard pedal boards and accessories from Warwick. In part 1 I looked at the pedal boards themselves, and for part 2 I'm looking at the quick mount system, the pedal safe pedal covers, the power block power supplies and the Patchwork solderless patch cable system. Starting with the quick mount and pedal safe products, these are a range of externally mounted accessories that allow you to utilise the slotting system included in the Rockboard pedal boards to attach your pedals without modifications and protect the settings as well. There are 14 different quick mount plates covering your standard Boss, Ibanez, MXR, TC Electronics, Strymon, Seymour Duncan and other brands, including Dunlop wah pedals as well. By removing the original screws and using the slightly longer replacement screws included, you attach the quick mount to the bottom of your pedal and voila, it will now clip into place on the Rockboard. A foam pad sticks to the bottom of the quick mount to give some grip once it's clipped in, but it's still possible to slide the pedals in the slots to adjust spacing. Fitting the quick mounts was very easy. The hardest part in fact was making sure I didn't drop the screws, and once it's clipped in the pedal feels as if it's mounted much more securely than with Velcro. It is a neat system and I can see several reasons why it might appeal. One, of course, is that you don't have to stick Velcro all over your pedals and potentially lose labels or serial numbers, etc. Two, for pedals such as Boss or Ibanez, I've always felt like the Velcro never quite feels like it's secure unless you remove the rubber pad. And three, it could make it easier to just slot in and out alternative pedals for different rigs. That said, it is much easier to put the pedals on the board than it is to take them off. I suppose that's exactly the way you'd want it to be, but I think it would be a bit of a faff trying to take pedals on and off once you had cables running underneath the board. But then that's not much difference from a Velcro setup, to be honest, so I don't know how much of an issue that would be. The pedal safe system includes a quick mount but adds in a clear plastic guard that slides over your pedal to protect settings being changed and also for a bit of extra protection from dirt and liquids, etc. I used the correct mount and pedal safe for my Ibanez TS808 reissue and it fit perfectly, with the exception of the hole for the power supply not being offset enough for me to fit the plug-in. It wouldn't be hard to cut an extra hole in, but considering all the work gone into making everything fit, it seems a pretty obvious oversight to have been missed. Now, to be fair, it does look like it's in the correct place for a TS9 tube screamer, and looking at the other pedal safe products, they look as if everything is in the right place, so this might just be a one-off issue for the 808 reissue. On the whole though, I was impressed with the quick mount plates and pedal safes. To be honest, I don't think I'd be using the pedal safe system myself, as I tend to change settings quite frequently on the few pedals that I do use, and therefore would have to remove the little settings guard every time. But if you're a set it and forget it player, then the pedal safe will keep your settings as you wish whilst protecting your pedals. The quick mount plates seem a better solution than Velcro, but they are of course limited to use with the Rockboard pedal boards, so you are tied into those products, and with prices ranging from around £6 up to the £20 mark, it could get a bit pricey as a way of attaching your pedals to your board. Moving on to power supplies now, the Rockboard range starts with the power block, with 8 9V 150mA outputs and 2 18V 400mA outputs, through the ISO power block V6 and V10 with 6 and 10 outputs respectively, up to the ISO power block V16 with 16 outputs with multiple voltage and USB slots too. The entry-level power block is non-isolated, meaning the outputs share a transformer, and as such might not be the best option for powering boards with multiple brands and long cable runs, as extra noise can be introduced. All other models do feature isolated outputs and so should, in theory, play happily on any board provided they supply the right voltage and milliamp ratings for your pedals. All of the units are a nice low profile size, which means they should fit comfortably under any pedal board, although one outcome of this small size means that they are reliant upon an external power adapter. For many people this isn't an issue, but considering the adapter needed is 18 volts, it's not the sort of thing you'll be able to replace last minute should it fail. To be honest, if I was relying on one of these power supplies to power my board, I'd have a spare adapter in my kit for those just in case moments. That minor niggle aside, the power block range seems well thought out, although it's only on the V16 that you get the option of 12 volts, which admittedly is a bit of a rarity in today's pedal market. For very power-hungry pedals, you would probably have to chain together a couple of the outputs, as the max milliamps available is 300 on the V16, although the V6 has 500 milliamp outputs, but only at 9 volts. I like the inclusion of a USB output on the V16, and on the whole I think most players would be able to build a rig with one of these supplies powering it. Of course, one of the most important aspects of a neat and quiet pedal board setup is your patch cables, and surprise surprise, Rockboard have that covered too, with their Patchwork solderless cable system, a unique feature of which is the ability to set up each cable with either a straight or right-angled jack. The Patchwork set comes with 3 meters of 4mm cable and 10 solderless plugs, giving you enough for 5 cables, and a tool for cutting the cable and tightening the plug screw is included. Putting a cable together is relatively simple. You just cut to length and push it into the plug and screw it back together. Although it's worth noting that the screw is quite small and comes completely out, and that a certain amount of finger dexterity is needed to hold the cable in the plug whilst getting the screw to sit back in the right place. Once I'd got the hang of making a straight plug, making a right-angled one was a bit more tricky, as the bend in the cable tended to push things out of alignment, but a bit of practice was all that was needed. The finished cables seem pretty sturdy and should stand up to a lot of plugging and unplugging while still continuing to work. The cable is thin and flexible, so it'll be easy to wire up complicated setups where you need to run cables between pedals, and the sockets are relatively low profile, so you shouldn't have too much difficulty fitting them in. The Rockboard pedal boards and associated accessories from Warwick have impressed me with their good build quality, well thought out designs and integrated thought process. Obviously the pedal boards themselves can stand alone aside from the quick mount system, and so too the power block power supplies and Patchwork's cable system. There are a few design niggles that I found a little frustrating, but overall I think you can be assured that the Rockboard products will allow you to build a pedal board that will be as roadworthy as anything else available on the market today. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Bass Guitar Review. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be kept up to date when we post new videos, and Ryan and I look forward to seeing you next time.